Top of the morning, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Get this. Jarrell Miller calls Eddie Hearn a hypocrite for defending Conor Benn. Jarrell Miller has launched a stinging attack on Eddie Hearn following Conor Benn's failed drug tests. Benn, 26, has denied any wrongdoing despite returning an adverse finding for the banned substance clomiphene, which scuppered his battle of the Brit showdown with Chris Eubank Jr. at London's O2 Stadium. Earlier this month, it emerged that Benn failed a voluntary anti-doping association's VADA drug test he took back in August. The screening discovered traces of testosterone booster clomiphene, which is also known as clomiphene, and clomid in his system. Okay. And Miller himself is a disgraced drug cheat, had some strong words for Hearn, who had branded a hypocrite. He said, "This boy's a hypocrite. Eddie Hearn, let's give him a round of applause." He said in a video on his YouTube channel, "Let's get right into the number one topic right now." Of course, Eddie Hearn and his new golden goose failing a drug test. The ironic part about this whole thing is they're fighting in the UK. UKAD and VADA are two different testing companies that they've been using. He failed doing the VADA protocol. Now Eddie Hearn is saying they're not going to recognize VADA, basically being a hypocrite and contradicting himself. They're going to uphold UKAD rules because he didn't do anything wrong with UKAD. It's so funny that this is the route he's taking and the stance he's taking on this situation. Of course, with other fighters, he's thrown under the bus, and especially me, he threw under the bus crazy. Okay. And he says also what makes it more funny is that Eddie Hearn's really trying to dismiss it like nothing, like it's nothing when it's his fingers or his fighters, he added. When it's other fighters, he's quick to say something about it. Eddie Hearn was more hurt about the AJ fight because of the money. He didn't matter for me. Eddie was my co-promoter. I had more than one promoter, so I worked with. So it's a lot easier and a lot cheaper for him to throw me under the bus and cut all ties with me than actually digging to the bottom of things and try to find a way to fight. That's the reason I was thrown under the bus. But for Eddie, we all know is a hypocrite. He's worked with a ton of fighters that have failed for worse than what I failed for. Those are the words of Big Baby Miller. Let me counterpunch. I have no objection whatsoever. Jarrell Miller, yes, he's a drug cheat, but so is Conor Benn. So is a lot of people out there. Okay? And it was bad that Eddie Hearn threw him under the bus because, that's the stance that he took. Now, since it's his fighter, like he said, his golden goose, he doesn't have that same type of energy. And see, the whole thing is, regardless if you want to or not, Eddie Hearn should be more, not even cutthroat, because at this point it looks like it's favoritism in the worst way. He should be an absolute beast, but he should be absolutely with zero tolerance when it comes to anybody. Then they know they can't fuck around. It doesn't matter who it is. But since it's Conor Benn, since he knows his father, since he, perhaps is a Brit, who knows, he's protecting the fighters, whereas guys like Juan Pascal, he threw under the bus because he wasn't from the UK, if you guys can remember. Okay, and a lot of times, like how the stance he took with Jarrell Miller, yeah, I'm pretty sure it pissed him off because what Jarrell Miller did was change the history and the route to boxing all the way through. Since he failed, though, Joshua fought someone else which he lost to and gave that other person the recognition that at that time he deserved because he did what he's supposed to do. He went out there and tapped that ass of Anthony Joshua. Whereas now, Conor Benn, you don't see that same energy. You don't see him saying, I'm going to sue Conor Benn. He's just saying, hey, well, he has a big fight to make, as we know. Not, hey, just give him the chance to prove that he's guilty. But with Eddie Hearn, and it wasn't his fighter, oh, now you're Mr. I have integrity, this is wrong for the sport type way. And see, Jarrell Miller is a living witness on why you shouldn't shit on one person and not shit on the other for doing the exact same things. Okay, what are we going to make of Eddie Hearn doing that? A hypocrite, a respecter of person, a respecter of money, a savior of money because he wanted that fight to go through. He did. That's why it took so long. Let's just be real. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Jarrell Big Baby Miller calling out Eddie Hearn as a hypocrite because of Conor Benn's failed drug test. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.